There's nothing worse than getting a new device and not knowing where to start with it. Well, today I'm going to take that pain away and guide you through the Insta360 X3. So first things first, we're going to start from the outside and work our way in. So on the left hand side of the device you have your battery slot. So pushing these buttons inwards will release the battery, and then inside the battery slot you have your SD card slot. So just pushing the card in will release it. Make sure when you put the battery in you don't see any orange inside the buttons, because if you do see orange it means it's not in properly. So make sure you hear the click and you see no orange, or else it isn't waterproof and water could get inside the battery. Above the battery pack you have your USB-C slot, which is where you can charge the camera or connect it to your computer. Again, when you push the flap down, make sure you get that click and you don't see no orange inside the button, or else it is not watertight. Above that you've got a microphone. Swing around to the other side of the camera, you've got a quick menu button there, which we'll dive into more when we switch the camera on. Above that is your on and off button. Above that is a speaker, and right at the top is another microphone. Swing around to the back, you've obviously got your lens. Under that, this little hole there is another microphone, and then you've got your LED indicator at the bottom, and then underneath that is another little microphone. At the bottom is your 1/4 inch screw, so this is where you can connect your selfie stick or any other accessories. There's nothing at the top. And then on the front you've obviously got your lens, you've got your screen, you've got a button there and a button there, which we'll dive into more when we switch the camera on. And then there's another little microphone in the middle, and your LED indicator is right at the bottom, which again we'll come on to when the camera is switched on. So just familiarize yourself with where the microphone slots are, so when you're filming you don't accidentally cover them, or I mean you would have to be quite close to the camera for you to cover them, because usually this would be on a stick, so maybe that isn't even worth saying. But yeah, it's just worth noting where the microphones are so you don't accidentally cover them for whatever reason, and then your sound is all a little bit mad. So that is the outside of the camera. Let's dive in now and switch it on. So to turn the camera on, like I was saying earlier, go to the right side of the camera, hold down a little button there and wait for the dun dun, and we're in. Cool. So you can see the LED indicator on the bottom. On the front has turned blue, and on the back has turned blue. That's just telling us that the camera is now switched on. So I'm going to get the case so I can put the camera there so you can see the screen. Cool. So this is the main screen that will open when you turn the camera on. Swiping from different directions on the screen will take you to different menus. So we're going to start from the left and work our way round. So swiping from the left will take you to the preview menu. So this is where you can preview any clips or photos that are currently saved on the SD card that's inside the camera, and you can literally just scroll through, or clicking on the little box in the top left will take you to the grid view, and then you can scroll through and just select whatever it is you want to preview. So let's preview this clip, and then you can press play and it will play the clip with sound, and then you can get your finger and move it around the screen to change the angle to wherever it is you want to change it to, so you can see everything you want to see. Clicking on the screen again will allow you to pause it, or on the top left you can press the speaker button, which will mute the audio. The top right is the bin, which will allow you to delete the clip, but that will permanently delete it from the SD card. And then at the bottom, when the clip is playing, you'll see this little blue bar. You can scroll through a clip, so you don't have to play it from the beginning if you don't want to. If you want to play it from the middle, you can start it from there, and then you can literally just continue scrolling if you want. Here's a picture, so the same thing works for a picture. You can literally, that little eye icon, you can press that, and then you can now change the angle of the picture so you can see everything you want to see. And then clicking on it again will allow you to delete it or take you back and let you continue scrolling, or press the little box in the top left and you can take it back to the grid. In the top right of the grid menu, you've got this little tick in this little box. If you press that, that lets you select loads of different clips or pictures and allows you to delete them all at once. That is the preview menu. To get back to the main screen, swipe to the left. So we're now going to move around and swipe from the top of the screen, which will take us to our next set of menu settings. So yeah, swiping down from the top of the screen takes us to these different options. So starting from the top, we have our volume control. So you can change it high, medium, low, or mute it altogether. Next to that, you've got your LED indicator. So when you are recording, the LED indicator turns to red, which I find quite handy to have on, especially when the camera's on a stick in the air. If you're unsure whether you hit record, just looking at the camera and seeing the light lets you know that it is recording. So I prefer to keep that on. I don't think it uses that much more battery keeping it on, but yeah, I prefer to know that the camera is recording than be walking around for a few minutes with the camera in there thinking it is when it actually isn't. So yeah. Under that, you've got vibrate, so you can turn that on or off. That's just when you press certain buttons on the camera or you hit record, it vibrates a little bit. Next up, you've got quick capture. So quick capture, having it on and allows you to use this button, this circle button in the bottom left, to when the camera is off, to literally press it and it will basically instantly start recording. So instead of you having to power the camera on and then start recording, you're able to quickly press this button and it will basically start instantly. So if you don't want to miss a shot, it's good to keep quick capture on. Next to that, you've got audio settings. Under that, you've got AirPods, so you can connect AirPods if you want. Then you've got pre-recording, so this allows you to choose a duration of the clip saved before the shutter is pressed, so you can choose 15 or 30 seconds, and then it will combine it as one whole clip. So this is handy to keep on if you don't want to miss a shot. Next to that, you've got brightness, then you've got Bluetooth remote, so you can connect using that, and then you've got lens guard. So if you've got a lens guard on to help with the stitching, turn this on. And next to that, you've got dive case. So if you had a dive case on, put this mode on, and it will lock the screen though. So to unlock it, you need to swipe up and then it will take you out of dive case mode. Next to that, you've got settings. So just when you thought we were already in the settings, note you can go even deeper and it takes you to these settings here. So this is just kind of your camera info, USB mode, Wi-Fi settings, Bluetooth wake up. So if you want to turn the camera on or off via the app on the phone, keep Bluetooth wake up on. It does say when you turn it on that it uses more battery, but I like to have the option to turn the camera on and off via the app, so I keep that on. Voice control, so you can turn that on and this will allow you to use different voice commands like take a photo, start recording, stop recording, etc., to save you having to press any buttons. And then under that, you've got anti-flicker, so you can mess around with that if you have any flickering issues. Under that is video bitrate. I recommend keeping that on high. Under that is video sharpness. I recommend keeping that on low. If you've got an external mic connected and you want to control the levels, you can do using the external mic setting there. Auto sleep, auto power off. You can change the duration or set it to never. Under that, you've got language, then you've got your SD card info, then customize button. So this button here in the bottom right next to the circle is the custom button, so you can have it either to switch between single lens mode and 360 mode, or you can have it so it can take a photo or record video. So if we keep it on the switch to single lens or 360 mode and we go back to the main screen and we press the button, if you see, pressing it once, it takes us to the inner lens. Pressing it again takes us to the outer lens, and then pressing it again takes us back to 360. If we have it on the other setting, it basically is doing the same as what this button is doing, which is starting recording, stopping recording, or taking a photo. So it's best just to keep it on the switch between the 360 mode and the single lens mode, or else you're just going to have two buttons that are basically doing the same thing. And then under that you've got gyro collaboration. Where if you're having issues with the gyro, put it on a flat surface and start the collaboration. Can never usually say that word, so collaboration, yeah. Anyway, yeah, if you have issues with that, keep it on a flat surface, start the collaboration. Calibration, I think it doesn't sound right. Calibration, is it calibration or collaboration? It's not collaboration. Anyway, you know what I mean, you can see it there. If you have issues, use that and hopefully it will help. If you want to factory reset the device, you can do that via that button. And that is pretty much it for the settings and the deeper settings. To get back to the main screen from any of the menu settings that you're on, you can just press the circle, which will take you back to the main screen, or wherever you see this little line, because we've swiped down, we can now swipe up. So when we were on the preview window, you can also press the circle to take you back, or you can see the line is now over this side. You can swipe and it will take you back as well. So now for the final direction in which you can swipe on the screen is from the right to the left, and this will take you to your basic camera settings, so like your ISO, your shutter speed, your white balance, etc. So you've got the option for auto or manual if you want to dive in deeper, and like I was saying, here is where you can mess around with the white balance, the ISO, the shutter speed, and you can change the color profile from vivid, log, or standard. But to be fair, if I'm shooting in good light during the day, I keep it on auto. It does a really good job at handling everything really well. I might need to mess around with the white balance here and there, but other than that, auto is great for good light. When you're shooting in low light, diving into the manual settings will definitely help. But yeah, on auto you can change the white balance, the exposure, and you can also change the color profile as well. But yeah, play around with it, each to their own with it. There's no right or wrong. You might want to dive in to the manual settings during the day, see what works for you, and then from this menu back to the main screen, you're going to swipe to the right, or you're going to press the circle, which will take you back to where we started. So you can't swipe in any more directions on the screen, so we're going to go through everything on the main window now. Starting from the top left, you've got your SD card info. The top right, you've got your battery info. The bottom left, you've got your shooting modes. The center at the bottom, you've got your resolution and frame rate, and in the bottom right, you've got the option to switch the preview window to show the outer lens or inner lens. So at the moment it's showing the outer lens. If I press it once, it will show me which is the inner lens. Getting your finger and pressing down on the screen and then moving it around will allow you to change the preview angle window, so you can up, down, left, right, wherever it is. Once it's in place, keep it there, press the cross, and it will lock it in. If we go to the shooting modes now, you've got 360 and single lens. In 360 mode, you can shoot in video, HDR video, time lapse, time shift, bullet time, loop recording, star lapse, burst, interval, HDR photo, and photo. Then back to video. If we keep it on video and then we go to resolution and frame rate, you can see that the highest frame rate you can shoot in 5.7K is 30. If you wanted to shoot slow motion in 60 frames per second, then you would have to drop it to 4K. You've now got 50 and 60. And if you wanted super slow motion, you need to drop it to 3K, and you've got 100. If you're doing normal video, then keep it at the highest, which is 5.7K, and choose the frame rate you usually shoot in, so either 30, 25, or 24. If we go back and switch it to photo now, and then we go back to the resolution box, you can see it's changed to megapixels, so you've got 72 and 18, and at the bottom you can turn a timer on all the way up to 15 seconds from when you press the shutter button. Back to the shooting modes, and now single lens mode. You've got 4 options here: video, me mode, loop recording, and photo. If we keep it on video and we go back to the resolution and frame rate box, you'll see different options will appear. The highest resolution you can shoot in single lens mode is 4K. If you want to shoot 60. Again, you'll have to drop it to 3.6K, and now you've got 50 and 60 as an option for your frame rate, but the highest frame rate is 30 in 4K. So yeah, keep that in mind. You can also mess around with the field of view at the top. So you've got action, ultra, wide, linear. Play around with it, see what works for you, what look you're going for. But yeah, in single lens mode, highest resolution is 4K, and in normal 360 mode, highest resolution is 5.7K, and you've both got the option for 30, 25, or 24 frames per second. Whilst we're on the single lens mode, back to the main screen, at the moment single lens mode is showing us the outer lens. If we want to switch it to the inner lens, again press that button in the bottom right, and it's now back on me, which is the inner lens. You can use this button here like we did earlier, but you'll see when I press it, it takes us to outer lens now. But now we're on outer lens. If I want to switch to inner lens and I press it, it goes to 360 mode first, and then I have to press it again to take me to inner lens. So you have to press it twice rather than once. So it might just be easier just to use this button here, but you have the options. So I'm just letting you know how you can do it. I won't go through all the shooting modes now in depth, but yeah, this is where you access all of them and scroll through and play around with them. So just a couple of last bits to finish us off. To start or stop recording, or to take a photo, if it's in photo mode, then press this circle button here. It will then start recording. You'll see that the LED light starts flashing red. This is what I was on about earlier by keeping the LED on, because when it is recording and the camera is in the air, it's handy to be able to just see the red light flashing, which will let you know it's recording. You'll see once it started recording, this little button has appeared in the bottom left of the screen. That's your multi-view. Clicking on that will bring up this little preview box in the top left, so you can now see a preview of the inner and outer lens. And then to turn it off, just press it again. And then this button here, like it has done before, will just switch the inner and outer lens preview on the main screen. To stop recording, press the circle button again, and it will save that as a clip. Just on the LED indicator, when you have it plugged in charging, it will be a consistent red, and then when the red disappears, it means it's fully charged. Just going back to the two buttons on the right side of the camera, on and off and quick menu, holding down the on and off button will turn it on or off, but pressing it once like a normal button will just turn the screen off. So if you wanted to save the battery, here's how you do that, and then just pressing it once like a normal button again will turn the screen back on. So the whole device is still on, it's just the screen that's off. The quick menu button underneath, pressing that once will bring up the quick menu, and this is basically presets. So pressing the plus button, you can see riding, outdoor, skiing, surfing, skateboard, diving, customize 1, customize 2, etc. So if you wanted to save a preset of your camera settings, if we go back into those camera settings and we change, let's say, the ISO to 640, the shutter speed to 180, the color profile to standard, and then we go back to the quick menu and we press the plus button and we go to customize 1, you can see all of those settings we've just changed are appearing here now, and then we would save that by pressing the blue tick. And now whenever we want those exact settings, we just press customize 1 and it will say C1 in the top next to the battery, and all of those settings are now what we'll be shooting with. And then if I wanted to switch to another preset, just press the quick menu button and I can go back and choose, let's say, customize 2, and you'll see it says C2 in the top right, and now I'm shooting with those settings. If you run out of space on the preset menu, just go back to the quick menu, and these 3 white dots, just click on them and you can overwrite it or delete it, and then you can create a new preset. And that is that. I hope it's helped guide you through. It's a super easy device to use, so play around with it and you'll pick it up in no time. If you want to check out any more of my tutorials or cinematic videos with the X3, I'll leave the links in the description below.